with our natural, easy breath. Slowly, with your next breath, I invite you to come back to this moment, this present moment awareness. Put your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly, as you remove your hands, gently open your eyes. And I invite everybody to this session, and I invite everyone to also please feel free to switch on your camera so I can see you. And today it's a very special session for all the youngsters, Paima. So I can see you all. Let me see you all. Okay. Soumya, can you make me the co-host? I just made you host so you can admit everyone.
Yes, Pari.
Okay. So welcome everyone. Today, shall we do in English or Hindi? Which language is preferable? And feel free to work on chat as well. Write on chat. English. Anya says English. Yeah, I think there are a lot of people from South as well who do not know Hindi. So maybe we do both Hindi and English. Jyoti says Hindi. Yes. Okay. वंडरफुल अगेन सबको वेलकम. आज बहुत ही स्पेशल एपिसोड है ये सेशन. नॉर्मली हम ये वी डू दिस फॉर women, but today we are doing for men and women because this information has to go to men especially more than women. So that is why we are doing this session. We are talking about moon energies, especially moon energy, nature, cycles, how we are connected with this energies, and how our lives run, how our lives are transforming and manifest. We are manifesting in our lives. So we're going to talk a lot of this stuff. Um, so this is a 2-day workshop. I know there was a lot of confusion with the timings today, especially I was confused more than you at what time we were going to begin. So but yet we are here, and tomorrow also at the same time we have this session. About 1.5 hours we'll do meditation and then talk about this. Okay, so I invite again everyone to please switch on your cameras because I would love to see you. That gives you more energy to talk. So if you want more stuff to come out, then you have to switch on your cameras. Okay, great. So I see a lot of, yes, hi Jyoti. Radhika, are you there?
Yes, I've been here since the beginning. I'm just switching on my camera in 2 seconds.
Okay, all right. So great. So we are all here, and this series was specially designed for the youngsters, age 17 to 30, but yet everybody is welcome. Everybody is invited. There's because this is something that we all need. And here is first thing we're going to talk about is the moon energies. How many of you know the different phases of the moon? डिफरेंट फेजेस के बारे में आपको कितने लोगों को पता है यहाँ पे? प्लीज रेज योर हैंड. यू कैन रेज इन द रिएक्शंस आल्सो इफ यू नो अबाउट मून फेजेस. अगर आपको मून फेजेस के बारे में पता है तो साई कृपा नोस, राधिका ऑफ कोर्स, विदुषी, ज्योति knows, yes, of course, she joined many of the sessions before. सो ओके, तो बहुत लोग ऐसे हैं यहाँ पे जिनको मून फेजेस के बारे में पता नहीं है. तो लेट्स स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग, फ्रॉम द बेसिक्स कि मून फेजेस क्या है और उसके बारे में हम जानते हैं. तो मून नॉर्मली आपको पता है मून First, let's talk about moon. How many of you know that moon goes around the earth? Correct? Moon goes around the earth. Earth goes around the sun and moon goes around the earth. इसीलिए उसको satellite कहते हैं. That is why it is a natural satellite. It is not a planet, it is not a star, it is a satellite. Natural satellite because it goes around the earth. Or another interesting fact, maybe you know or you do not know. I didn't know until recently, until many, many years, because nobody taught me in school, was, or maybe they did, but I never listened, um, was that the moon never rotates around itself. It just goes around like this. It never rotates around itself, which I never, if I had listened probably in school, maybe I would have known. Um, thank you, thank you. So maybe I would have known, but I have never really focused until I became a meditator, until I became a spiritual scientist. Then I started really studying about everything. So yeah, it does not rotate. So it just goes like this. That means we on Earth, हम हमेशा एक ही साइड को देखते हैं मून का, हम दूसरे साइड को देखते ही नहीं. उसको डार्क साइड ऑफ द मून कहते हैं, द डार्क साइड. हम हमेशा इस साइड को देखते हैं, इस साइड को हम देखते नहीं, क्योंकि हमेशा अर्थ को ऐसा ही घूमता है. सो फर्स्ट थिंग टू अंडरस्टैंड इज देयर आर टू साइड्स. मून के टू साइड्स होते हैं, द साइड दैट वी सी एंड द साइड दैट वी डू नॉट सी. इट इज कॉल्ड द डार्क साइड. इसके बारे में हम बहुत ही डीपली जा सकते हैं. देयर इज अ लॉट टू लर्न अबाउट दिस, बट in this session we are not going to go. We're going to go into the basics of what are the moon phases, different moon phases. Today in this session we are going to talk about the moon phases, importance of the moon and its energies, moon ke phases and cycles, and we talk about the womb, a woman ka womb, periods, sexuality, and of course what we are not talking the obvious. So there's a lot of deep information that we're going to discuss today, and of course we have finished the meditation, so we take that energies and move forward. All right. So moon has how many full moon se full moon tak there are 28 days. Every from full or अमावास्या से अमावास्या तक, full moon से full moon तक 28 days in PSSM. How many of you are do not know PSSM? Because I'm going to be referring a lot about PSSM. Please raise hands. If any of you do not know, I assume most of you will know, because this is a very special PSSM workshop, not open for the public outside. So if anybody are new and do not know PSM, please raise hands. So we will have to get you signed up for another course. Okay, so I do not see anybody who is not PSSM. All right. So PSSM mein we focus a lot on what? The full moon energy. A full moon is very, very important in PSSM, and there's a reason why it is important. Why we do a lot of full moon meditations, especially. Yeah, full moon is Purnima, new moon is Amavasya. So, मैं एक पिक्चर शेयर करती हूँ. आफ्टर आई एक्सप्लेन, देन यू कैन नो द मून मीनिंग्स. फर्स्ट होता है, फर्स्ट लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द न्यू मून और द डार्क मून. जो अमावास्या होता है, द एक्चुअल कंप्लीट डार्क एक ही दिन होता है. सो द डे बिफोर एंड द डे आफ्टर भी उसका एनर्जीज होता है. 3 days नॉर्मली वी हैव दोस एनर्जीज, द प्लैनेटरी अलाइनमेंट. सो द फर्स्ट इज द डार्क मून or the amavasya. The dark, there's two in English, we have two names, two different days, the dark moon and the new moon. Both are not the same, they are different. Dark moon is the first day that is completely black, there is no moon at all, and the next day is the new moon, where it is called the new cycle has begun of the moon. Okay, we'll start from there. The next, this is the time जहां पे हम न्यू मून, एक ऐसा टाइम है जो हम एक नए इंटेंशंस, एक न्यू बिगिनिंग्स, जो कि आज राधिका, टुडे इज डार्क और द न्यू मून?
Is a dark moon today. Dark moon is basically the waxing crescent phase of the moon, and the new moon India time would be at 2:30 a.m. today. 2:30 to between 2:15 2:30 a.m. today will be the new moon phase. So new moon starts our India time post 2 a.m. That is.
यस। हुमेरा, डार्क साइड मैं आपको बाद में बताती हूँ, क्योंकि वो थोड़ा बहुत ही साईफाई हो जाएगा आज, एवेंजर्स मूवी की तरह। तो हम थोड़ा उसको पार्क करेंगे डार्क मून के लिए। बट सो या, सो द न्यू मून स्टार्ट्स वेयर वी सेट न्यू इंटेंशंस। टुडे इज द डे गाइस, टुडे परफेक्ट टाइम। अगर आपको कुछ नया प्रोजेक्ट शुरू करना है, कुछ नया इंटेंशन, एक नया ड्रीम करना है, कुछ नया इमेजिनेशन करना है, टुडे इज द डे टू राइट दोज इंटेंशंस एंड सेट दोज इंटेंशंस, बिकॉज टुडे इज दैट डे वेयर new plans, new beginnings, new projects, new energies are here with us. And today is what? The new year, the first new moon in the new year. So very powerful day. We are bringing in a lot with us. So that is the first new moon. उसके बाद होता है waxing crescent moon. मतलब मैं उसका फोटोज भी आपको दिखाऊंगी। एक्चुअली मे बी लेट मी जस्ट शेयर एंड देन यू कैन सी। ओके, एवरीबडी कैन सी दिस पिक्चर। सो इसमें सारे मीनिंग्स है वेयर यू कैन सी एंड द, सो दिस इज वैक्सिंग क्रिसेंट मून, मतलब मून थोड़ा थोड़ा शैडो से निकल रहा है। यहां पे हम अपने डिजायर्स, वी स्टार्ट सेंडिंग इट इनटू द यूनिवर्स। यहाँ पे जो हमारे डिजायर्स है, होप्स है, विशेस है, आई वुडंट से होप्स, यहाँ पे जो विशेस और डिजायर्स, और क्यों नहीं कहना, मैं आप सबको ये भी बताऊंगी आज। क्रिसेंट मून, ओके, वैक्सिंग क्रिसेंट मून, जहाँ पे शैडो वेरी स्लाइटली कमिंग आउट ऑफ द शैडोज। उसके बाद होता है फर्स्ट क्वार्टर मून, जैसे कि क्वार्टर इज ओपन और इसमें एक्शन लेना है। वी हैव टू टेक एक्शन, वी हैव टू, अगर सिर्फ विशेस करके, इफ यू जस्ट विश एंड ड्रीम, नथिंग इज गोइंग टू हैपन। वी हैव टू टेक एक्शन into what we are dreaming. We have to make a plan. So this is where in the new moon we start making plans of how we have to manifest. A wish, when you put it on a paper and write the steps, is called a plan. What is a plan? Is when you put steps into it. I want to get a job, a new job. That is my wish. But what do I have to do? A new job. What is this plan? I have to do my resume. If I have to get some skill sets, I have to go and enroll myself into it. I have to apply in places. Where am I applying? All those are steps. This is a plan. This is now we have to take this plan into action. So this waxing crescent moon is putting the plan together. First quarter moon is taking action, putting everything into action now. Sending the resume, calling, hey, Tejal, I am open. I am unemployed. I want a job. I'm sending you my resume. Please take it. So we have to do that. If we don't do that, then how will the job come? From just by sitting and meditating and, oh, I want job, it won't just fall on our laps. We have to take action. So if we don't take action, we cannot complain. If most people just complain without taking action, without doing anything, or I'm meditating, I'm positive, but nothing is happening. How will anything happen unless you take an action? So this is the time where it reminds us, the moon reminds us that we have to take action. Next is the waxing gibbous. That is, again, we are, actually there is also a half quarter moon also. Which comes with the first quarter moon. It's all about taking action. Next is now going in towards the full moon. Here, there will be obstacles. In the half quarter moon and going towards the waxing gibbous, that is where the moon is completely getting whole, there will be a lot of obstacles. There will be problems. There is no life, there is no maza, enjoyment without problems. We have to have problems. We have to have resistance. Otherwise, there is no, like, if everything happens smoothly, there is no maza. So, that is what we have chosen for ourselves in life. We have chosen our problems, we have chosen the people who complain around us, whether it is our parents, whether it can be anybody. Now, I'm talking to all the youth here. Okay, when I'm talking today, I'm really talking to you, the youth. I'm not talking to the old the generation of me. I'm talking to you. So, if there are people complaining in your life, it can be anybody. Most of the times, we find the parents to be the ones complaining. You're not doing this. You're not losing weight. You're not, studying or whatever it can be. But all of that we have chosen. we have we have chosen them as our family, as a mother, as a father. So there is a lesson to be learned from that situation. So all of that, so now in this phase we have to refine what we have. We may have defined a plan, but maybe there are some things with when we put into action we'll see more. Arey nahi, aisa nahi, shayad we have to refine our intentions. See, when we have a dream, today I'm also teaching about manifesting, guys. I am not here, I'm not going to talk about astrology, what really happens on new moon and all that. That is not what I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk in a very practical way, how you can apply these energies into your life today to achieve what you want, because that is what we want. What do we do with understanding astrological information? There's nothing you can do, but how you can take that energies and implement, and that is what I do all the time, and I'm going to share that with you guys. um, so once you have written a plan for yourself, there are things that you may have missed. There are things that maybe you say, hey, I want a job of certain salary, but maybe you're not, but maybe you're really just starting out, and there are certain steps that needs to be achieved before you get there. Maybe you need a new skill, maybe you need to meet the right people, maybe you need to get really honed on your resume. There can be any number of steps. Maybe you have to change your mindset, because sometimes we think that I want this, say 1 lakh 1 lakh of salary per month, but you just not even sure if you'll get a job. Like, for example, as a student, we would think, oh, I have to get first rank or second rank, but we are not even sure if we'll pass. When we are in that mindset, how to to your subconscious mind, it is not believable. Are, how will you get first rank, or how will you get into college when you're not even sure whether you are ready to pass or fail? So first we have to understand where we are in our mindset, because remember, guys, this is something that I talk all the time. Everything you see in your life is a reflection of your energy, of your frequency. So if you are not believing, if your subconscious mind is not ready, if your mindset is not ready, then you are not going to see that into your life. You're going to be projecting your doubts, your fears. If you have a doubt, if you have a fear, you're going to be projecting that into your life, and you're going to be attracting that. Your life, which is a film, is always going to confirm your belief systems. Always. अगर आपको डाउट है आपके बारे में, आपके लाइफ उसको कंफर्म करेगा कि हाँ, देखा, मैंने यही सोचा था, यही मिला मेरे लाइफ में, देखा. This is what always life will do, is confirm what you believe, because life is always responding to you. It is not happening to you, it is responding. Whatever you are, whatever you believe, it is responding. Now, as a child, why we have kept this above 17 uh, is because as a child, we are, see, we are being programmed by many things, by our by the fears of our own parents, most of the times, which is not in our control. What they have seen, what they have learned, is what they are passing on, even though they do not show it. As a parent, okay, if I'm a parent, even though with my child, if I'm not showing the concern, अरे मेरा बेटा कैसा कैसा पढ़ेगा या कैसा, my daughter Ziva, she is 5 years old, okay, but she doesn't know how to differentiate between T and F. She doesn't know. Okay, she gets confused. She doesn't know how to identify alphabets. She's 5 years old. She's in kindergarten. As a parent, if I fear, अरे अरे यार मेरा इसको नहीं आता, ये क्या अभी इसको कुछ हुआ क्या, she's not on par with other kids of her age. There's a constant fear of a parent. In fact, maybe we should do a parenting class also. कि constant fear, अरे उसका बच्चा ऐसा हो रहा है, मेरा बच्चा ऐसा नहीं है, अरे कुछ करना पड़ेगा, we have to do something. Constant comparison. And I was just talking to my husband, अरे maybe ये क्या तारे जमीन पर हो रहा है क्या इधर, she cannot identify alphabets, but these are all fears that we hold, and we may not express this to kids, but as a kid we sense that energies. A fear is very contagious. Fear is contagious. Even if I am not if I am not expressing it, most of the parents think, "Are I have to worry about my child, but I cannot show. I want to be a very nice, composed, calm parent, but under se itna anxiety, itna fear, itna things happening." But that, even though you don't show it, it is coming out on the child. The child can sense it. Because it is energy. Emotions are energy in motion. So energy can be sensed. So that's how the child picks up these fears from the parents, whether we know it or not, subconsciously. And they become their fears. The parents' fears become their fears. So as we are growing up, we take up these fears, these beliefs from our teachers, from the people that we get emotionally attached. Anyone you're emotionally attached, you automatically take their energies, take their fears, their belief systems, their programming. So now think about it. From your child, how are you connected? From it can be your favorite teacher, it can be favorite uncle or anybody, your anybody around that you are grown up with, or your favorite movie that you've been watching, or the song that you're listening. Everything, like for example, for me, as I growing up, DDLJ was big thing, right? So eighth class, I think I watched like 10 times. Maybe that is very less. People have watched many times, and that is an imprint. Sometimes you even feel, tell me who feels this, when you watch a movie, sometimes you are playing that movie in your life, like you are actually living that character in your life. Sometimes when you're very attached to that movie. So this happens when you're emotionally attached. So Pooja raises hand. So it happens that when we are emotionally, like when we like something, when we get connected, we are probably playing that movie in our life. That's how movies visuals play a very important role in our life. What we see is being played in our life, whether we admit or not, whether we are conscious about it or not, but it happens. And that is why we are here in PSSM, why we are talking so much about PMC, is because of this. Because what we see is what we become. What we watch, Pooja says, what we watch, what we listen, everything, yes, is becoming a part of who we are, very gradually. Sometimes we say, "Arey, I like crime movies, I like this." When you start watching, you won't even realize. It is very gradually, it will change your programming. Because why? When you watch a movie or your favorite show, sometimes it happens ki, "Arey, I'm calling say Soumya, and she cannot listen to me because she's so engrossed." Did this ever happen, that you're watching something and somebody is calling you, but you cannot listen because you're so engrossed in the movie? Is because why? The television puts you into an alpha state. Okay, the television puts you in an alpha state, your brain wavelength, and in that alpha state, it is a hypnosis state, a theta wavelength, where everything you see is getting programmed. So it's a very easy way, very powerful way to program you. So now this is what happens. So all of these belief systems, many of it comes in the way of what we are manifesting. So now in this time, waxing gibbous moon, where we start releasing, where we start, understanding, okay, what we need to refine, what belief system is holding me back, what is limiting me. मुझे जॉब चाहिए, पर आई फील लाइक आई एम नॉट गुड इनफ, आई एम नॉट अ गुड इंजीनियर, आई एम नॉट अ गुड दिस. दैट बिलीफ सिस्टम इज stopping you from receiving what you are hoping. So there is contradiction between what you want and what you believe. This is the major reason why we don't manifest in our life, why we don't make things happen in our life, because we are projecting confusion into the universe all the time. And the full moon, this is where we start refining and everything, we start putting it out there, and this is where the energies are at its peak. The moon energies, the alignment, the way the cosmic planetary alignment is at its, the energies are at its peak. So the full moon is time where we harvest, time to harvest the intention, like whatever we are putting out there, we start seeing that, we start putting the intentions at peak. So this is where, why we must meditate. Full moon is because when it is a full moon means, again, moon, luna, also you call it as luna. So you in lunatic is mad. So whatever your emotions are, it goes to its peak on full moon. So that is why we become little emotional also at this time. Like you start getting things start bothering you a little bit. And even if you have noticed in the last few days, tell me who have noticed this, you have experienced extreme emotions of fear, of confusion in the last 2 3 days, in fact. um like really, like thinking like things are going out of control, or maybe a lot of fights happening, arguments happening in the last 2 days. A lot of people are raising hands here, I see. um Surfacing hidden emotions, confusion, yes, a lot of shadow work has been happening in the last very extreme, if you have noticed yourself. So suddenly things are surfacing, suddenly things that we have been ignoring or putting under the carpet have been coming out in the last few days. So yeah, loneliness, yes, loneliness, suddenly we feel like nobody is understanding us. I'm just alone, nobody understands, I'm just walking this path alone. Feel aisa feelings. Suddenly maybe doubts of what you are doing, is it right or not, am I on the right path or not, doubts about that. So a lot of stuff is surfacing, fear, yes, in the last few days. And there is a reason why it is happening, and I'll talk about that as well. And it doesn't matter man or woman, for everybody this is this, because this energies work the same whether you're a woman or a man. It doesn't really matter. So full moon is a time where the energies are the peak, so we must meditate. So whatever we focus on, it amplifies. If you focus on the negative side, it gets amplified. Focus on the positive sides, it gets amplified. Focus on the miraculous side, it gets amplified. So the full moon is a time where you must at least meditate 3 hours. No no exceptions, because that is when you can harness all these energies, all these mindset shifts you have worked on the full moon. Okay, so what happens before full moon? Full moon is this, before full moon is waxing, where you are refining, putting it out there, you are working on your plan, and you are really putting your energies, and the peak energies surface on the full moon. Then again, after the full moon, what happens? The moon is going into the shadows again, dhire dhire. So what happens? The first one is waning. So when the moon is going from the Amavasya to Purnima, it is called waxing. When Purnima to Amavasya, it's called waning. So it is very simple to remember. Waning gibbous moon is called turning. Then here we turn ourselves inwards, going into ourselves, introspecting what is happening, what is that I need to learn from this situation. um about your goals, being grateful, gratitude, appreciation, all of this come into play. Then we have third quarter and the half quarter. Okay, the half, sorry, the half, yeah, the half quarter. These two are there. Here there's one missing. But release and letting go, here is a time where you're working through your shadows. We all have, guys, जैसे moon है, the right, the the side that we see and the side, the darker side, वैसे ही हम सब में there is a dark side, there is a light side, both. We all have that, and we must honor our darker side also, our shadows also, our limitations, our our own uh, belief systems, that is holding, that is the fears that we have within, and we must honor that. That is the lesson this whole period teaches us, and it gets heightened at the dark moon. So that means we have shadow, we have done some very bad things in our life, all of us. But that, when I say very bad things, that goes against what we have taught. झूठ मत बोलो, ये मत करो, वो मत करो. मैंने अपने लाइफ में झूठ बोला, मैंने अपने लाइफ में एग्जाम्स में कॉपी किया. आई एम नॉट encouraging that, very bad, but I am being myself right now vulnerable and telling you the truth that yeah, I have done those things. So which we have lied in our lives, we have done very bad things, we have been jealous, we have been shamed our own self, maybe unknowingly shamed others also. This is called gaslighting, which can be another session on itself. Unknowingly, like the children, comparison, we have been the energy vampires. What is energy vampires? How many have you read the Celestine prophecy, where they talk about the energy, the drama, the control dramas, how we take energy from each other? Lakshmi has read, Panjali has read, Pranjali, Nirmai. So you know what I'm talking, the control dramas that we do to take energy from other people. We have done all that, and not even knowing. I may be doing that with my child. We don't even, and we have gone through that. So we have so there are times that we have been that. So there is a, when we start embracing our darker side, we create compassion in our life, we create a different perspective in our life that is not maybe known to us. And that is the whole purpose, is understanding every different perspective in our life. A child has a perspective, a mother has a different perspective, a partner has a different perspective. How we can, the empathy, what is empathy? Deepa is there. She says, I just don't want to do this, I just don't want to do this. I'm a meditator maybe, but I don't want to teach meditation, just for now. I don't want to do that. I'm a mother who is a meditator and she's my child, Deepa, and she says, I don't want to do this, I just want to meditate, just leave me alone. And that, as a parent, may be like, why are you not doing this? You must do this, you must do the right thing, why are you not doing that? And what the parent may have one perspective, like, my child, if I am do this, my child should do this, because in my mind I'm thinking this is the right thing to do. Maybe the perspective of the child is different. So the empathy comes in where you understand your parent from where they come from their perspective, how they are looking at the world. So when you start empathizing with the other person, your consciousness, your frequency starts expanding, because you're able to hold different perspectives in your point of awareness, which actually gives you a better hold, or you are more conscious of your reality, more, you're a conscious creator at that minute, at that and creating a coherent environment. So for example, if, like, for example, when I was leaving my job, okay, quitting my job, and I was want to do what I love, if my husband has any fears about that, then how I react, how I respond to that is, hey, I understand these are your fears, they are not my fears. So we must understand what are other people's fears and what are your fears. So most of the times we make other people's fears as our fears, and we start Getting confused, Are, I want something and something else I'm feeling. Getting confused about how to handle those emotions, because at the first point they are not yours. It are self-induced emotions. So first understanding, okay, you know what, Radhika, these are your fears. I understand and I respect and I honor them. I am not, and we should not dismiss other people's fears. अरे ऐसे ही बिना बात के और फालतू में ऐसा डर में जी रहे हो, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. ऐसा, if we dismiss it, we are not honoring, respecting other people's emotions. And that creates more anger within them, that you're not understanding them, you're not hearing them, you're not communicating. This is where all the relationship problems begin, is because we think that the other person is not understanding us, the other person is not hearing us. We go into a shell. Nobody listens to me, nobody understands me, I'm just alone. This is where all the relationship issues happen. So first, when you hear somebody, this is called coherent communication. Guys, I'm teaching a lot of stuff here with the moon, but everything is related. कोहिरेंट कम्युनिकेशन मतलब, अगर आप मेरी बात सुन रहे हो तो डोंट थिंक इन योर हेड, डोंट मेक comparisons in your head, just listen. Like as if you have to translate this into another language, how would you listen? You don't judge every word, you're listening word, because you have to give the same message in another language. Practice this. This is a practice of coherent communication. मतलब अगर आप किसी का सुन रहे हो, now practice this with the person that you argue the most, the complain the most, or have a fight with the most. Okay, practice this. I want you guys to practice this. Is when they are speaking, listen. Don't think in your head, अरे ये ऐसा क्यों बोला, इसका मतलब वो पास से ऐसा रिलेट किया इसीलिए ऐसा बोल रहा है. All of that, take that off. Just listen. And then when you listen, say Lakshmi is saying something and I don't agree with her. It's okay if you don't agree. Just listen. Lakshmi, is this what you are saying? That you don't feel acknowledged, or you don't feel this? Are you this? Am I saying it right? Repeat that with that person, because that person should know that you understood, that at least you heard that person. This is the most important step in communication. I'm going off topic, but again, all of this is relevant in bringing that introspect of where we are. So first, explain. Okay, is this what you're thinking? Is this how you're feeling? And and especially when you're talking to children, especially when if they're saying something, don't just dismiss. अरे ऐसा नहीं होता है, वो कुछ भी नहीं है, चलो जाओ. First, hear them. This is what parents have to be taught, first of all, listening to their children. That पूरी तरह आप listen करो. फिर then you say, hey, I understand you're feeling like that. I honor and I understand from where you're coming from. I understand from where you're coming from, but these are your fears. These are not necessarily my fears. I believe in this. And that is how you take the communication with compassion. No rebel. मुझे नहीं सुनना. आप नहीं सुन. This is how the children, even because they feel hurt. Why a child reacts a way is because I feel hurt. You don't listen to me. You never understand me. I don't want to even talk to you. I'll just go shut myself in a hole, dig a deep hole, and I'll sit in there forever and ever, and I'm never coming out. This is what we tell. Being a rebel. And the parent gets confused. अरे क्या करना है, कहाँ करना है, अरे meditation class भेजना है, इसको करना है, वो करना है. And the parent goes into another circle. Because the idea is not to be a rebel. The idea is to be compassionate and empathetic towards other people. So that is called coherent communication. So we, in the third quarter and in the waning crescent moon, where we are surrendering to the universe, surrendering to the flow, okay, bringing that silence in. You cannot hear music when there is noise around you. You cannot hear music. You have to silence everything down to hear the music. Silence is golden. Silence is important. Agar silence ka, if there is no silence in this world, there is no music in this world. So this part, this is where we start understanding that we need to go into ourselves and create that silence to hear our own voice. Sometimes we don't even know what we want. We think we want this, we want that. I should take IT, I should take maybe electrical, maybe this, maybe that. We get so confused. So one day we want this, one day we want something else, because we are so imprinted by the images, the visuals around us, and we don't even know what we truly want. So this is the time where we take that retreat into ourselves, into we have, guys, we're gonna be here for another half an hour and then we'll close. I know it was said 1 hour on the flyer, so just letting you guys know, and we take some questions at the end as well. So it is going introspect. So this part of the time until the dark moon is where you are working with your shadows. This is a very deep work happening here. Now talking regarding the when I said, okay, when I say dark is about talking about your shadow work. Shadow work is your anger, your jealousy, your shame, the guilt, the regrets, all of these things that we hold in ourselves, that we ignore, we shove it somewhere deep, 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 deep in our heart, that we never even want to enter that room again. And whenever somebody touches that point, it is a bomb, atomic bomb that happens. Like, how dare you talk about this? How dare you call me lazy? How dare you call me I'm stupid? Because that is deeply shoved somewhere that we don't want to even go. There's no light there. There's only darkness there. So we shove it deeper and we don't want to touch there. So this is where the shadow work happens. Now, talking about the women and the periods, okay, this is where we enter now to understand our cycles. The women are very, very deeply connected to the moon, the nature itself. Stri matlab prakriti. Prakriti means nature. That is three. Every part of man also has that prakriti in himself, because we are whole in ourselves. We have masculine and feminine energy within us. The balance of this is what the creative energy, the abundant energy in us. So when I say talk about periods, it's not just about the women. There is this energetic imprint within men also, that has been shut down for a very, very long time by our society. So that is a whole another topic that we probably tomorrow will get deeper into, that this part of the energy is being suppressed within men. So I'm gonna stop sharing. Is being suppressed, Hindi. Okay. Moon and the womb. Yeah, we'll talk about that. So this being suppressed within the man. So when I address this, when a man understands this concept, they are more empathetic and compassionate towards women, because they understand what is happening. They understand the nature, how it works. That is why these topics have to be taught to our boys, to our children, to our partners. Very important concept, what I'm going to be starting on right now. So I'll talk, as I said, the nature. A woman is very, very, very closely connected with the nature. Because of this information being lost, lot of women are facing problems, PCOD problems, period, imbalances, hormonal problems, lot of issues, relationship issues, because we have disconnect. This information has been lost through the ages. This is ancient information that was passed on, but and the why it has been lost also, there's a reason, because of whole the patriarchal society, the power thing that came up. This part of information, they didn't want the women to know, or the man to know. So let's talk about that. And how do I know all this? Because I've read from the ancient scriptures. I can even give you some books, maybe you can read more about it. And this is what the experience. This is when you connect to your own source. Whatever I'm telling you, you hear and you feel it in your heart, That is how you know if this is right or wrong. You feel it in your heart. um, so the first thing is dark moon. Okay, there are four phases. In here, I'll talk about the four phases. The dark moon. The dark moon is a time where in ancient ages, when you remember the time where the women actually used to calculate, women or men, the civilization used to calculate the time using the planets where they are, or using the sun, the moon. That's how they know which month, which year, or whatever is happening, because they would see the thing and tell. At that particular time, they were very connected with the nature, because they could sense the nature being different, and that's how they could even predict what is going to happen. So at that point, the periods used to happen for women at the dark time, at the Amavasya time. That is the time that what is periods? Periods is about, is actually the letting go of the old, like shedding, like how a snake sheds or reptilians shed. It is about shedding the past, shedding all those emotions, and bringing in new. That is what a period is about. So at that time, all the women used to gather together. It is called, in some cultures it is called the red tent, where whether it is a older woman or a younger woman, it doesn't really matter. They would gather. It is a time of retreat, time of, that is where a woman is highly psychic, highly highly psychic, very very sensitive towards the signs from the other dimensions. And at that time, the women would retreat, meditate, share info, sajjana sangatya, dance, enjoy, take care, self love. All of this used to happen at that time. And that is why women would not participate in everyday chores to do that. They would come and celebrate being a female. So all this used to happen. And this is the reason why, in from the ancient regions, women don't participate in any of the everyday stuff, family stuff, because it's time for themselves. It's a retreat time, self love time. But as a patriarchal society has come up, this has been changed into women being impure, women being dirty. Women cannot do this, cannot do that, cannot enter kitchen, cannot go to a temple or whatever. It has, the message has been changed. But the truth is that this is a time for retreat, a spiritual retreat. This is a time a woman goes into herself, into this shadow work that I was talking about, into releasing all those fears, clearing the baggage, and starting a new cycle, a new opportunity, a new life, a new birth in itself. And this is called the, also this is the new a time that we are creating. Every day is a new day, every day is a new opportunity. We are rebirthing every day, and this is from a cycle perspective. A woman rebirths, whether you are a mother or a maiden or a virgin or a a mother, whoever you are. So this is a stage. The next stage is called the, now I'm going to use the words. Now you know the words. The waxing. Okay, the waxing stage where the moon is coming out of the shadows. This is a time, it's called the maiden or the virgin stage, where you are curious about everything, where you want to learn. You're like bubbly, you're like, like the girl that is wants to explore, wants to experiment, ready for new things. So this is adventurous. This is the maiden state, this particular phase just after the periods. Okay, the waxing stage is the very adventurous. You're ready to take up, you're ready to do anything, you're adventurous, you're very exploring. After that, a stage is called, and each phase is represented in our movies as a character, each phase of the women, if you can think. Okay, now the next stage, the full moon stage, is called the mother stage, where a mother is nourishing. How is a mother represented in our movies? Think about it. Nourishing, very very compassionate, very warm, very trusting, very giving, a Parvati or a Tulsi. Think about that. Is this mother stage? Is represented in our movies. Okay. Now, the next stage is called the what it is called, the mad woman stage or a crazy woman stage, where we are like throwing things, we are the emotion surface out of nowhere, where we are being bitchy, or where we are being, like, in the sense, be talking gossip, where we are talking about other people, um where we are angry for no reason, where we are feeling jealous, or we are like, I don't know why I'm feeling that, but I'm feeling that, where we want drama, we create drama, not even want, we create drama in our lives. So this is the stage of that, and this is again represented as a one of the character in the movies. So but all of this is a woman in itself. Every stage is a woman. A woman can be in any stage of her life. So at this point, in the crazy time, we don't want to maybe clean our houses. We get irritated. Are why our house is dirty? Are I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But at the same woman in the maiden stage will be like, chalo, let's clean up. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. Let's create a plan, meal plan. Monday kya hoga? Tuesday kya hoga? Chalo, let's do all that. Put it on the fridge. But when it comes to this stage, we are like, I don't want to do anything. We fight with everybody, like, why this is not happening, I have, all of that is happening. So this is the stages of a woman. Now, when we understand the stages, why we should know all this, when we understand these stages, when we manage our emotions properly, we know how to deal with life. This is a cycle, this repeats. Now, I can even share with you tomorrow. I'll share with you a calendar also on how you can identify and connect with the nature. Okay, I will share with all the girls, um, and the men, share it with your women in your life, and identify where you are with the in this cycle. You can see a pattern in your life that gets repeated every month. You can see that pattern, and this all these energies men also should know, so how they know how to respond to a woman. They know what is happening within. They are not just saying are, they are not confused about why a woman behaves certain way. They understand. So we are we are whole within, with every emotion. Every emotion is important. Every emotion is to be honored. That is why we took a human life. Otherwise we are, why are we on earth? Why did we take up a human life? Because every emotion is important. Every emotion is to be understood. If there is an anger, if there is a trigger, that means there is something hidden message which we have not discovered. It is like a car with a warning sign. टिंग 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 आ रहा है कुछ मैसेज, but if we just like ignore, maybe that is telling the fuel is low, or maybe it is telling the air is low in the tire. If we don't hear that, we are actually like going downhill. We are ruining our own self. So when emotions like this surface, we have to understand why this emotion came up, what is the message, and how can I manage it. So managing emotions is an art which was given to actually women at the start of the civilization. And that is how why women were powerful, because they knew how to manage emotions. All of the problems in our life surface. Why? Because we don't know how to manage our emotions. We get angry, we create something, we get jealous, we do something, we don't know how to manage. That is why all these problems in the world are happening. Communication problem, relationship problem, religion problems, anything, because we don't understand each other. And if we understand, we get a message when we don't know how to manage. So this information was given. Now this is something out of what we are talking, is when the start of the civilization, the reptilian race, the extraterrestrial race has been given, this information was given to the women, and the women held that, and that is why they were able to lead societies. But with time, with other darker forces that enter the earth's surface, have taken this information and have manipulated it, and suppressing women, because women held the power. So there's a lot that happened that we can discuss more and more all day. I can sit here and discuss all day, but First thing today, what we have learned is about the moon phases, the different moon phases, how a Amavasya is different from a full moon, and what are the different energies, then how they corresponding to a woman cycle, and how we are very much closely related. So I'm going to share with you a sheet to all the women who have, to everybody here. So you can start working with the cycle to understand where you are and how you are connected, and how you can listen to your own signals, body signals, listening to your own bodies, listening how you're feeling, what you're feeling with somebody, with with something happening in your life is very important, because all the messages are hidden within you. Everything, your future prediction, what is happening with you is within you. Now how to tap into that information is what is when we connect with the nature. That is why in PSSM we say being with the nature is very important. Listening to your body, eat how much ever you eat, less than what you think you want, being mindful about your words, mindful about your thoughts, all of this is part of your connection with your own source. And that is why these are all the principles of PSSM. Why we are saying all this, because this is exact, it's a simple version of all this information that I've shared. So with this I'm gonna actually Radhika, I would like to invite, if you would like to add something that we may have I may have missed.
Uh, Thank you, Paridhi. I think we did not miss anything. In fact, I think we got more information that we intended to, and that is how the flow is always. Um, it's just that what the aim, the aim of this workshop was to bring a lot of awareness to everyone, regardless of your gender, that how moon energies actually play with our womb. And womb is not something that is only related with women. हमारा गर्भाशय है, तो वो गर्भ सिर्फ एक औरत के पास नहीं होता है, वो एक आदमी के पास भी होता है. This is, and this, when I talk about this womb, it is about the intuition, not just where the reproductive system lies. It is where your intuition lies. It is where your wisdom lies. It is where where all the knowledge that you've gained through many lifetimes, that lies. So today the new moon is going to be super new moon. So all that she has taught today, if you try to inculcate, and when you come back the next day, that is tomorrow at the same time, at 8 p.m. India time and 9:30 a.m. New York time, when we meet tomorrow, you will be better equipped with all we have talked today. Do little things. Just go watch the moon in the night. Whoever has access to moon, do that. Do open eye, just gaze at it, look at it, and just try to talk to it, meditate there. If you can be up till 2:30 a.m. today, between that 2 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. time, or maybe till 2:45 a.m., if you can sit and meditate for those 45 minutes, it's going to be really amazing and recharging. You can also amplify the intentions, as Pari was talking about the exercise, how you can manifest, how you can amplify. You can actually put in all the intention in those 45 minutes and do it. And as for period and sexuality, as she was talking, what we need to do as people, the 74 people who are here, including Pari and I, we can change. You can make change little by little. Start talking out to the women in your community. For women, it is okay to buy a sanitary napkin and not wrap it in a black polythene or a brown paper. It is okay to talk about sex if even if your parents are in the room. And I might be going maybe overboard, but this is how the community is built. Step by step, baby steps, take one step at a time. You don't have to go and just start talking random. What I'm trying to say is, find means to make it comfortable when you're communicating with your friends, regardless of the gender, with your family members. And this is how we will end the taboo. We can bring the change. And that is why we wanted this session to be a youth session. The change is not at the remote button, that change the television, change the government. Modi is not doing this, Rahul Gandhi is not doing this person is complaining. As Pari said so beautifully, we are always complaining. Isne ye nahi kiya, usne wo nahi kiya. Are tumne kya kiya? What did you do? Today I owned up to my mistake. There was certain timing issue, but the thing is, I'm okay standing here and sitting here in front of you. Okay, I am a human being, I committed a mistake, so what? Will I go and hang up myself? No, I will do better. How can I make it better for myself and for everybody in my community? How can I think next time I'm not going to, create this reality for me? I'm going to change this for myself. And this is what Pari was teaching here today. So this is all I wanted to add. Tomorrow, do not miss, because she will go little scientific on the moon aspect. And when she goes scientific, she is kick-ass in what she's teaching. Okay, tomorrow will be more of note taking for all of you, because we'll be going like really, today was more of, easing into the topic, telling the feminine aspect of it, because it's very important. If you want to understand moon, you have to understand women, because you have to understand the feminine aspect of it. And somebody asked, how moon is related to all that Pari is talking about. Actually, moon is related with water. If you know, high tides or low tides जो नदी या किसी भी महासागर में, किसी भी ओशन में होते हैं, वो मून साइकिल के अकॉर्डिंग होते हैं. जब फुल मून होता है तो कैसे टाइड्स होते हैं, जब न्यू मून होता है तो कैसे टाइड्स होते हैं. हाई टाइड्स आर यूजुअली एट द फुल मून टाइम, लो टाइड्स आर यूजुअली एट द न्यू मून और द अदर फेजेस. सो फुल मून पे हमारे इमोशन इतने ज्यादा बढ़े हुए इसलिए होते हैं क्योंकि हमारे पानी में भी 75% यानी कि 75% वाटर है, including the bloodstream, right? So when the moon is up during the full moon time, even our body is, connecting with that moon. Our body is, reacting. So you have to understand how it should not react and start responding. And it is again, regardless of your gender. Women definitely goes through a different type of emotional cycle at this point in time, but men feel it too. And today it's a request, humble request to all women, as men are, expanding themselves. I'm hats off to all the men here, youth who has joined us, and it is regardless of the age bracket that you're in. Thank you for being here, because you are expanding your consciousness. So for all of the women present here, expand yourself for these beautiful men in your life, because this is how the play of divine feminine, divine masculine is. And with that, I'll pause. Thank you, Pari, for giving me this opportunity. And yes, please take it over. Back to you.
Yes, thank you, Radhika. As she said, she brought up a very important point about service mindset. Service is the highest energy state. Okay, when we are in the state of service, when we are in the state of serving, highest energy state, every emotion get managed with that. So when we say service is not just going to an orphanage or a senior citizen thing. That it is not just that. In our own life, how can I serve? How can I be of service to my own mother, to my own father, to my own family? Service can begin from your own home. It doesn't have to be going outside and doing some work for people who do not know. Of course, it extends there, but it will begin from your own home. How can I be of service? Because instead, we, as she said, we focus on, अरे तुमने क्या किया मेरे लिए, तुमने ये किया क्या, तुमने वो किया क्या. So that mindset has to shift. And again, there is a fine line between being of service and being a doormat. Okay, so you have to understand your boundaries and standards also. So this is a whole different workshop. Maybe we'll do specially for youth on how to identify your own boundaries, because we are, as an Indian, we are being taught, अरे अच्छा करो, सबको हेल्प करो, ये करो, वो करो, but उसमें we forget our own boundaries, our own standards, and we cannot even speak up because of that, because we've been taught that we cannot speak up कि ये गलत हो रहा है, ये या मुझे ये अब्यूज हो रहा है, या मुझे यूज किया जा रहा है. So we don't even know that. So this is where we have to understand, okay, what is service? What is the real meaning of service? What is how you set boundaries, how you set standards? This is something that I was telling yesterday. We get in our lives, guys, we get in our lives what we tolerate with ourselves and with others. Think about it again. I'll repeat this again. Listen. We get in our lives what we tolerate with ourselves and others. If we want, we have to set standards for ourselves. If we don't set standards, our life will not change. Okay, so this is a very important point. All youth must learn to create confidence, to create self-respect, to create self-esteem. Very important. So this is something we'll talk about it. I'll talk to the Paima groups and we'll create special classes just for the youth, because I feel the youth must be trained in this, to identify create their own standards, their own boundaries, whether it is sexual boundaries, mental boundaries, emotional boundaries, or spiritual boundaries, anything. We must set up that. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. We'll take a couple of questions if anybody has. And of course, tomorrow we'll give more time for questions. You can raise your hand, or you can just share what you want to learn more, whatever you think, if this made sense today, if you want to ask, do more. Yeah, we have.
You can raise your hands, guys, whoever.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello. Hi, Trapti.
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, I want to ask one question that is regarding from the periods.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, likewise, you tell us, and ma'am, at the time of the periods, we are having changes of energies. Then why do the people says that women do not go near to the man, and it is like so many taboos like that also. So please tell us about that also.
That's exactly what I said before, कि ऐसा the message has been transformed, in the sense manipulated, कि जैसे women को बताया गया कि women अनप्योर है, टच नहीं करना चाहिए, किचन में नहीं जाना चाहिए, टेम्पल में नहीं जाना चाहिए. दैट इज एक्चुअली द रीजन. क्या? और मैन के पास नहीं जाना चाहिए. द रीजन वो नहीं है, उसके पीछे वो रीजन है ही नहीं. वुमेन it is most amazing pure being, in fact I would say, most connected, very psychic, very spiritual at that time. द रीजन ये है क्योंकि वो एक टाइम है जो हमारे लिए है. वुमेन अपने ध्यान के लिए, अपने सेल्फ लव के लिए है. अगर वो 3 दिन आप वो एनर्जीज को यूज करेंगे, जैसे कुछ भी कर सकते हैं आप, एक जर्नल लिख सकते हो, आप मेडिटेट कर सकते हो, अच्छा म्यूजिक, कुछ भी, आप डांस करना हो, कोई कुछ भी आपके लिए जो करना हो अगर करते हैं, तो वो आपके जो पूरा प्रोसेस, इमोशनल रिलीज जो हम क्लेंजिंग करते हैं, बहुत हाइटेंड होता है. वो हमारे लिए एक्चुअली, पर उसका मैसेज गलत बताया गया कि वो टाइम
Impure
अनप्योर,
है.
डर्टी है. पर वो गलत है. दैट मैसेज इज रॉन्ग. वो करेक्ट, वो जो एंशियंट से आया है वो करेक्ट है कि हमको एक विमेन ग्रुप्स में होना चाहिए. वी शुड हैव मोर विमेन. एक वुमेन, ये अगेन गलत बताया कि वुमेन ही वुमेन की दुश्मन है. ये बहुत ही गलत गलत स्टेटमेंट है. अ वुमेन, एक वुमेन को सपोर्ट करते हैं तो एक पूरी दुनिया को, एक वॉर ही, जंग ही जीत सकते हैं. बट वो कम्युनिटी को हमें क्रिएट करना है. वुमेन सपोर्टिंग वुमेन इज द मोस्ट पावरफुल थिंग. So again, we come back again now with all this knowledge. We have to create that society again, that civilization again. So thank you, Trapti, ये beautiful question पूछने के लिए.
Ma'am, one more question if you
Yes.
like to tell
हाँ,
us.
yeah.
Ma'am, why the mood swings were come in the times of the period?
ये नेचुरल है क्योंकि पीरियड के टाइम पे हार्मोनल चेंजेस होते हैं. अगेन हार्मोनल चेंजेस कहाँ से होते हैं? योर एंडोक्राइन सिस्टम. ठीक है. और अगर वो एंडोक्राइन सिस्टम मैनेज करने के लिए हमें अपना, अगेन कहाँ से होता है वो? अपने पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड, पीनल ग्लैंड जो यहाँ पे है, वहां से कंट्रोल होता है. और इसीलिए जब हम ध्यान करते हैं, सो ऑल दिस इमोशंस विल बी बैलेंस्ड, क्योंकि ये हमारा कंट्रोल में नहीं है, ये सप्रेस हो चुका है. इसको थर्ड आई भी कहते हैं. इसीलिए ध्यान करना बहुत ही जरूरी है, क्योंकि हम इसको एक्टिवेट करके हमारे इमोशंस को हम कंट्रोल कर सके. और जब ये हार्मोनल चेंजेस हो तो हम इसका विक्टिम नहीं बने कि अरे मैं बहुत इरिटेटेड हूं, मैं इसमें, अभी आप मुझ में कुछ मत बोलो, अभी मत बोलो कि ये करो वो करो. हम ऐसे रिस्पॉन्ड करते हैं. अरे यार अभी मैं बहुत, जब हम लो एनर्जी में होते हैं तो हमारा रेस्पॉन्स अलग होता है. वही एक हायर एनर्जी होता है तो रेस्पॉन्स अलग होता है. तो एनर्जीज को हाई रखना है. तो मूड स्विंग्स का विक्टिम नहीं बनना है हमको, उसको मैनेज करना है. कैसे मैनेज करते हैं? इसीलिए ध्यान करना है. That is why ध्यान most important करने के लिए.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Trapti. Yes, Prachi, please unmute कीजिए.
Hello. I'm very grateful for your session today and whatever the information you provided. And it was like everything was resembling to me. Okay. So everything has happened to me. I was just feeling like I have one question. At the beginning, you said that, there's no clarity regarding what we want, or we are just dual minded that I should get this. No, I don't want this. So, how can I get a more clear picture? I'm really struggling in this. I'm really trying hard to, figure out things and, the marriage thing and all. It's like I even want a good career. I even want a good partner. So, everything is messed up. I'm not able to take decisions. So, please help me by your suggestions.
I hope I can give something today in the next 2 minutes. पर प्राची, ये जो आपने कहा है, आप कहाँ से बात कर रहे हो?
I'm from Nasik, Maharashtra.
ओके, नासिक, ग्रेट. तो ये जो आप फील कर रहे हो, आप अकेले नहीं हो. ये सभी के साथ हो रहा है. इनफैक्ट
Yes.
the reason, there are many different factors behind it, पर जो मैं आज इसके लिए हम we have to sit together and discuss to go exactly. पर जो क्या हो रहा है, फर्स्ट थिंग इज ये जो एनर्जीज, इनफ्लक्स ऑफ एनर्जीज जो अर्थ पे आ रहा है अभी फिलहाल, जो ट्रांजिशन हो रहा है, बहुत हो रहा है. सो उसको हमारा बॉडीज भी अपग्रेड होना पड़ेगा टू हैंडल दोस एनर्जीज. ओके, दैट्स फर्स्ट थिंग. और द सेकेंड थिंग इज our thoughts create our reality. ठीक है, हमारे thoughts create our reality. Our thoughts are very scattered.
Yes.
मतलब उसमें एक आता है, मर जाता है, एक थॉट आता है, कुछ और आता है. डिस्ट्रैक्शंस. हम टीवी देखते हैं, इंस्टाग्राम में रील्स देखते रहते हैं. सो मेनी थिंग्स हैपनिंग एट द सेम टाइम. अरे आई हैव टू डू दिस, अरे नो आई हैव टू डू दैट, अरे नहीं ये करना है, अरे वो करना है. सो कितने सारे डिस्ट्रैक्शंस हो रहे हैं, ये हम सभी फील कर रहे हैं फिलहाल. सो ये सारे स्कैटर्ड थॉट्स में मैनिफेस्टेशन नहीं होता, सिर्फ कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट होता है. सिर्फ ऐसे ही लोगों को हम अट्रैक्ट करते हैं, ऐसे ही चॉइसेस हम लेते हैं लाइफ में. इसीलिए एक थॉट अगर मैनिफेस्ट करना, वो संकल्प, इसको एक इंटेंशन, संकल्प बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग और उस पर काम करना है. इसीलिए ध्यान करना बहुत जरूरी है. एक जैसे मैंने कहा ना, साइलेंस क्रिएट करना है. साइलेंस क्रिएट करेंगे तो ही आप अपने आप को सुन पाएंगे कि आपको क्या चाहिए. आपके हार्ट को सुन पाएंगे. क्योंकि पार्टनर हो या कुछ करना हो जो आपको पसंद है, वो आपके हार्ट को पता है वो क्या है. एनी रिलेशनशिप हैज टू गो स्टार्ट फ्रॉम हियर. और पर हमारी हार्ट की बात हम सुन ही नहीं पा रहे, हम इधर ही अटके हैं, उधर तक पहुंच ही नहीं रहे. तो इसीलिए वो एक कनेक्शन, इसको ही हार्ट और माइंड कनेक्शन स्ट्रॉन्ग होना, एक अलाइनमेंट, इसको ही कोहेरेंस भी कहते हैं. रेजिलियंस, कोहेरेंस, बैलेंस, स्टेबिलिटी, जो भी आप कहो नाम इसका. सो ये अगर स्ट्रॉन्ग है तो हम जो डिसीजंस लेते हैं वो बहुत सही होते हैं. चाहे वो करियर चॉइस हो, चाहे वो रिलेशनशिप हो, चाहे वो एक बिजनेस डिसीजन हो, कुछ भी हो. सो इसी अगेन आई गो बैक टू द सॉल्यूशन, एक ही है, वो है ध्यान.
Meditation. Yeah. And actually, the pattern is you spoke about the patterns. I have observed my pattern is fear. So what happens is fear doesn't allow me to take actions, and I don't take actions, and then again where I am.
Correct.
So there is no growth. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you.
The biggest disease we are suffering with is procrastination, overthinking.
Yes, true.
That is the biggest disease right now the society is suffering from.
Yes.
And that stems out of fear.
Yeah.
And we want to be in our comfort zone where there is no growth, where there is comfort.
Right.
No growth. So we have to come out of a comfort zone. Take the risks. It's okay to take risk and fail. It's okay. अगर fail हुआ तो हुआ, क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? So that is what we have to like tell our people, like it's okay. अरे यार risk लो, fail हुआ तो क्यों? Shame क्यों? We should not shame others or shame our own self. When we get out of that, that is where we start trusting our own decisions and taking those leap of faiths. अभी हमको सब secured होना चाहिए, सब set होना चाहिए, तभी हम एक step लेते हैं. But that if we want security, we are living in the wrong planet. We have to go to a different planet.
Yes.
So thank you, Prachi, for a beautiful question.
Thank you for your answer. Yeah.
Yes, we'll take Neelam.
Hello, Paridi. Hi.
Hey, hi, Neelam.
First of all, I'm grateful. I'm very much grateful to you because मैंने आपका लास्ट रीइन्वेंट किया था हिंदी में जब मैं अपना ट्राई कर रही थी कंसीव करने का, और जैसे ही ब्रह्म से ब्रह्मास्त्र स्टार्ट हुआ और मैंने कंसीव कर लिया था, तो बहुत अच्छी गुड न्यूज थी
Oh,
जो मैं
wow.
आपके साथ शेयर
Congratulations.
करना चाह रही थी. थैंक यू सो मच. और फिर मैम ये क्वेश्चन है कि अभी जो होने वाला है वो तो मैंने फिर से रजिस्टर कर लिया है, अगेन मैं ज्वाइन कर रही हूँ. एंड मुझे मेरा क्वेश्चन मैम ये है कि मैंने कंसीव किया, सब खुश हैं, मैं भी खुश हूँ, हमारा फर्स्ट बेबी है. उसके बाद मेरे साथ ये इशू हो रहा है कि मैं सऊदी अरेबिया में रहती हूँ, मेरे इन-लॉज मेरे साथ स्टे करने आए हैं. सब कुछ बहुत अच्छा था, बट प्रॉब्लम ये हो रही है अभी जब वो आए मेरे साथ ना बहुत ज़्यादा गुस्सा, इरिटेशन बहुत हो रहा है उनके ऊपर. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है पर अवेयरनेस है, हार्ट में है कि मैं ऐसा क्यों कर रही हूँ, मतलब मेरे माइंड से ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, अवेयरनेस फुल है कि ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है. क्योंकि मेरा जब मैंने रीइन्वेंट और ब्रह्म से ब्रह्मास्त्र किया था तो बहुत अच्छा ध्यान लगता था, मॉर्निंग भी इवनिंग भी, और जब टाइम मिलता था मैं ध्यान पे ही बैठती थी और बहुत अच्छे एनर्जीज मैंने फील किए. इवन अबंडेंस का जो लेसन हुआ था और राधिका मैम ने बाउंड्रीज का लेसन लिया था, वो सारा तो मैंने रियल लाइफ में ऑब्जर्व किया, एक्सपीरियंस किया है बहुत अच्छे से. बट अभी इतना एंगर हो गया है और अवेयरनेस तो है बट सोल्यूशन नहीं हो रहा है कि मैं ऐसा क्यों कर रही हूँ, मतलब ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है मेरे माइंड में. हार्ट में है कि हाँ हमें शेयर करना है, वो सोल है एक, हमें उन्हें सोल लेवल से देखना है, जज करना है, बट ऐसा नहीं हो पा रहा है.
Well, first of all, Neelam, congratulations. और आप सऊदी में हो तो ग्रेट, वहाँ पे हमारा एनर्जीज आप शेयर कर रहे हो, सो विच इज़ ग्रेट. आपके ध्यान के द्वारा जब अब प्रेगनेंसी होता है तो बहुत सारे चीज़ें जुड़ जाती हैं. आपके अंदर एक सोल कनेक्टेड है, तो उसके इमोशंस भी हो सकते हैं. तो बहुत सारा फैक्टर्स है. अगेन मैं एक चीज़ नहीं कहूँगी, बहुत सारे हो सकते हैं. जब एक बेबी आपके साथ होता है तो क्या हो रहा है, तो ध्यान में आप आपके बेबी के साथ कम्युनिकेट करना है, लाइक टॉक टू योर बेबी कि कैसे आपको क्या चाहिए, आपको सब कुछ ठीक है क्या, कुछ चेंजेस चाहिए, क्योंकि बेबी का भी बहुत सारे ऐसे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में लिखा होता है. आप एक बेबी जब हमारे पास आता है तो हमारे बीच फादर और मदर और बेबी के बीच में कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है, सोल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट.
Yes.
तो सो आप उनसे फर्स्ट कम्युनिकेट करना शुरू कीजिए. और जब एंगर आता है तो एंगर कुछ गलत नहीं है, इट्स ओके. एंगर आए तो आप अपने आप को फॉरगिव कीजिए, इट्स ओके. और एंगर को दिखाने के लिए कुछ सोचिए. जैसे कि मैं अपनी बात बताती हूँ. जब मैं 20s में थी, व्हेन आई वाज डेटिंग माय हस्बैंड, तब वो टाइम पे मुझे बहुत, अगर मैंने फोन किया, अगर उसने उठाया नहीं तो हो गया, पूरा ड्रामा शुरू हो जाएगा. मैं 100 टाइम्स फोन करूंगी and then how dare you don't answer my phone. All this drama used to happen. This is my life story, guys. I used to be like this. और फिर जब मिले तो और भी ड्रामा, फोन फेंकना, लैपटॉप फेंकना, ऐसा क्यों करना है, ऑल दिस दुनिया भर का ड्रामा होता है. So then I discussed, then we talked about it कि देखो एंगर आना ओके फाइन, but how do you manage? By throwing things is not a good idea, क्योंकि we are losing lot of money at that time. हम realize नहीं करते. So I started introspecting and understand how I have to reflect my anger. कि कैसा, क्योंकि एंगर शो करना भी इम्पोर्टेंट है, बट हाउ डू आई शो इट, हाउ डू आई मैनेज इट दैट कि अदर पर्सन को भी पता चले कि मैं गुस्से में हूं या मुझे ये पसंद नहीं आया. सो जो दीज आर समथिंग दैट आई वर्कड आउट. ऐसे ही आप अपने हस्बैंड के साथ भी बैठ के आप डिस्कस कर सकते हो कि क्या आपको बॉदर कर रहा है, कि कैसे आप उस एंगर को रिफ्लेक्ट कर, चैनल कर सकते हो. So this is something that we all can learn, because again हम अपने एंगर को सही तरह से चैनल नहीं किया तो बहुत सारे लोगों को हर्ट करेंगे हम, बिना बात के, विदाउट एनी रीजन. एंड वो सब को हम अवॉइड कर सकते हैं जस्ट बाय बीइंग मोर अवेयर कि आपके अंदर क्या हो रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है, और वो सही तरह से एड्रेस करके. कम्युनिकेशन, इसीलिए कम्युनिकेशन के बारे में आज मैंने जो बात किया वो एक बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग कॉन्सेप्ट है रिलेशनशिप्स के लिए. सो आई वुड से जस्ट ट्राई बी अवेयर कि कब हो रहा है, कैसे, और आप कैसे उसको रिफ्लेक्ट करें. उसको अगर सही तरह से चैनल करेंगे तो आपका स्ट्रेंथ बन जाएगा. ऑल दिस इमोशंस कैन बी आवर स्ट्रेंथ, पर आपको सही तरह से वो मैनेज करना आना चाहिए. ओके नीलम,
डेफिनेटली मैम,
लेट्स टॉक,
थैंक यू.
कनेक्ट इन रीइन्वेंट और डिस्कस करेंगे इसके बारे में.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. ओके मैम, थैंक यू सो मच. आई एम वेरी वेरी ग्रेटफुल मैम.
थैंक यू,
Thank you.
थैंक यू, थैंक यू नीलम. सो थैंक यू सो मच गाइस, आज आप सबके साथ बहुत मज़ा आया. और कल फिर मिलेंगे, तो जिनको भी अगर कोई मिस हो गया तो प्लीज़ शेयर, ये रिकॉर्डिंग भी है तो देख सकते हैं. कल हम और ट्रॉमास के बारे में बात करेंगे, मे बी मोर अबाउट बाउंड्रीज ऑल्सो. राधिका कैन शेयर मोर अबाउट दैट. So thank you so much guys, bye, have a great day and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.